Welcome to FX Options University, recorded live at the International Securities Exchange, the world's largest equity options exchange. Join the industry's top trading professionals as they provide insight and strategies for trading in the currency markets using FX options. FX options are a low-risk alternative to hedging currency moves in any market condition.
Welcome, everyone. This is Steve Meisinger, your host for today's ISE webinar. Today I have Mike Tosaw with us. Mike is a registered rep. He really understands options. In fact, he works for a company called Know Your Options, and he provides services for investors that are looking to trade in the markets and have someone that really understands the options market, as Mike really does. So Mike will be talking about balancing your portfolio with FX options. Without further ado, I want to introduce Mike Tosaw. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Steve, and I'd like to thank everyone out there in webinar land for the standing ovation that Steve and I are getting right now. We actually can see through your computers, and we see what's going on. No, just kidding. But thank you for the warm welcome, Steve. It's always a pleasure to work on the ISE platform. Steve and I have been working together for many years now in different capacities, and it's always fun to work with Steve. Today what we're going to be talking about is a little bit of everything in terms of the FX option portfolio. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we're using FX options, and as advertised in the description of today's event, we're going to put a lot of focus on the straddle and the strangle. So without further ado, let me mention some risk disclosures. We do need to mention that options do involve risk, and we strongly recommend that you read in great detail the characteristics and risks of standardized options. This is a document that was delivered to you upon the sign up for this event, and if you do have any questions on it, or you want to read it in greater detail, or you just need further clarity on this, feel free to visit the web address on the screen, or you can go to ise.com, or you can send me an email at the end of this event. I'll be giving out my email address, and we'll be happy to provide that for you free of charge and do whatever we need to do. The other thing that needs to be mentioned is that I'm a registered rep of Know Your Options, and that's a DBA of Brokers Express. With that being said, I'm only registered in the United States, so my services, with which we will talk ever so briefly at the end of today's presentation, are only available if you live in the United States. So, now that we have the lawyers happy, let's start talking about the gist of today's presentation. First off, a little bit about the ISE FX option product. Any broker with which you can trade options, you have the ability to trade the ISE FX options. So whether your broker is Schwab, E-Trade, Ameritrade, Options Express, Brokers Express, whoever, you have the ability to trade the FX option product so long as you have the ability to trade options on Google, IBM, 3M, or whoever. This is an SEC-regulated product, so this is available, and it works similar to like what an index option would work like, or what a stock option, for whatever way with which you want to do this. This is an exchange-listed security. Now, on here, when you're trading the FX options, there's regulators with which need to be answered to as for us as brokers and for the ISE as an exchange. The reason that I bring this up is that if you're trading the spot Forex, there is no centralized regulator. So in terms of transparency in the marketplace and the fact that you have a regulator with whom you can work with should there ever be an issue, this is a regulated product, and the ISE answers to the SEC on this one. So this is an exchange-listed product. It's traded over a centralized exchange at the International Securities Exchange, and this is regulated in the United States. On these products, they're cash settled in U.S. dollars. Now, there are some newer ones that are coming out now to where on the British pound, on the euro, on the Aussie dollar, as well as the New Zealand dollar, that are actually settled in the, let me rephrase it, they're all settled in U.S. dollars, but they're measured in as if they're dollar-based. Now, the new ones with which I'm talking about, I kind of just had a little tongue twist there. I apologize for that. The new symbols, as you can see in the graph there, such as AUM, GBP, EUU, and NDO, over in the far right-hand column, those are the ones with which they are measured in the other currencies. So AUM is measured in Aussie dollars. GBP is measured in pounds. EUU is measured in euros. So in other words, if EUU is going down, that means the euro is going down. If EUU is going up, that means the euro is going up. With that being said, the middle column where you see AUX, BRB, BPX, CDD, and so on down the line, those are all dollar-based, meaning that if, for example, let's look at AUX. If the Aussie dollar is going down, then AUX is going up. That's US dollar-based. So with that being said, that's kind of how they are priced. And these are all European-style options, meaning that you don't have to worry about early assignment if you're an option seller, whether you're doing credit spreads, whether you're selling naked options. These are all European style. These are cash settled in US dollars, so you don't have to worry about exchange rates from the standpoint of you don't have to worry about an envelope full of euros being sent to you, so to speak. These are also something that can be traded as spreads. So with that, just like you can do a diagonal spread, an iron condor, a butterfly, you name it, if you can do it on a stock or on an index, you can also do it on this specific product. The basis of this product is that you can actually have an opinion on a currency, whether you're bullish, bearish, or neutral, and you can use this product with which to trade. And there's a new website out, or fairly new, a few months old, fxoptions.com, and I've been to the website. I think it's a good thing with what they're doing to promote the FX options, and you can find a lot of good information on it. So in today's presentation, and I'll be talking for about 40-45 minutes, or until Steve gives me the virtual hook, so to speak, and then we'll open it up for questions a little bit at the end. And if you do have any questions during the presentation, feel free to type them into the chat box, either to the ISE webinar host or to myself. And if Steve feels it's pertinent to the conversation, I won't be offended if I'm interrupted to answer the question, so to speak. But at the end, that's when we'll be opening it up for questions. And I'd encourage everyone to stick around at the end, because my opinion from years of doing webinars is that the end is probably the best part, because then you can see what other people are asking, and then that can kind of add to, it adds a lot to the presentation. So today's points to ponder, we're going to be talking about which way is the market going. We'll be addressing that, and we'll be talking mainly about the U.S. stock market. We'll ask the question, are you diversified? There's a crazy bald guy that used to throw a chair and likes to yell booyah that makes a big deal out of that specific question. We'll talk about that in today's presentation. We'll be going through what is a straddle, what is a strangle. We'll talk about why you would consider doing that specific strategy. We'll answer the question why you would consider trading within the currency world. Now, as we do this, I'll tell you a little bit about how we do it and some trades with which we're doing on the currency side of it at Know Your Options as well. I won't get into the exact specifics because my clients don't like us giving out their account numbers and personal information, but I'll be able to give you some conceptual ideas as to how we're doing this in the marketplace. We'll talk about how you can do straddles and strangles going for Vega, meaning as a volatility trade. Doing it for delta, if you're doing it as a directional trade, meaning that you're waiting for a direction, so to speak. And we'll also talk about it as a potential time decay trade.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. Get trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary. Visit www.fxoptions.com. ISE FX options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.